Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Austin Willett. I am CEO of Different Strokes, and I'm absolutely delighted that you're here with us for this session with Anna this afternoon. So today is the first of the Different Strokes 2023 webinar series that we'll be running. We'll be putting these webinars out every couple of weeks. Before I start today, I'd just like to run through a little bit of housekeeping. This session is being recorded so that people who are not able to join us today will be able to view this at a later date. But rest assured, no details of anyone who is watching are being recorded, and the only people who will be appearing on screen is myself and Anna. We do have a chat function, so it'd be fantastic if you'd like to say hello in that, pop any details in, let us know what you had for lunch, for example, let us know what the weather's like where you are. So please do use that function. And if you've got any comments in general on the session today, please do use the chat function. We also have a Q&A function. So if you have any specific questions, particularly for Anna and the exercises that she might be doing today, please do pop them in the Q&A function. And then time permitting, Anna will do her best to answer them at the end of the session. If I could ask though, please, if you do have questions, could you please specifically use the Q&A function and not the chat function, because it's a possibility that we may miss the question in the chat function. So over the course of the next few months at Different Strokes, we're going to be running a number of these webinars, and we're looking to do them in as many different areas as possible. So we'll be having some talks from stroke survivors. We'll be having some Ask the Expert sessions. We plan on having some sessions to showcase specific products and services that are of benefit to stroke survivors. And we'll also be looking to do some sessions with an exercise element, including the initial session that we're doing today. And we're really, really pleased this afternoon to be joined by Kerry, yoga teacher and also a stroke survivor. Anna had her stroke just coming up for 2 years or so ago now. Anyway, without further ado, I'd now like to hand you over to Anna, and I'm sure that she'll deliver a fantastic session for you this afternoon.
Thanks, Austin. Hi, everyone. I'm standing slightly to the side because I've got a bright light in my face, so sorry if I'm looking a bit weird. So welcome to my yoga session, and I'd just like to run through a few things with you first. So you'll see that there's a chair in the background. So I'm going to be doing this whole session on a chair. So if you've not got a chair to hand, grab one now, because we're going to be seated throughout the whole session. So this is a really accessible yoga session. I've also got a pillow, which is literally just off my bed. We'll be using that for one of the postures today. So if you've got a pillow to hand, you can grab that as well. And I've also got a blanket, which is just sitting on my chair at the moment. I'm using that because my legs are quite long in relation to my chair, so it just helps me. But you can also use a blanket as well when we come to do our final relaxation at the end, because sometimes once we've moved the body, we can sometimes get a little bit chilly after. So you can put a blanket over you if you need to. So the session today, I'm going to be for stroke survivors. One of the things that we also struggle with is anxiety. So we're going to look at how we can control our breathing to help with anxiety. We're looking at grounding through the body, and hopefully this session will just make you feel nice and calm and grounded and relaxed after. So yeah, I'll get started. So if you wanted to come onto your chair, if you're not there already, and just take a moment to settle. Lean back into your chair, feet firmly on the ground, and then hands can just sit in the lap. So take a moment now to just allow everything to settle, and your option here is to close your eyes or drop your gaze. And I just want to I want you all to know that everything that we go through in today's practice and everything that I offer for you is a suggestion, it's an invitation. So it's an invitation for you to feel into your body. You know, as stroke survivors, we tend to disassociate from our body because of the trauma. So this is about coming home to yourself. So allow the feelings and the sensations to be there and just settle your body. So we're just taking this time to settle in. And notice, how is your body feeling this afternoon? And can you notice how your breath is feeling? So just have a curiousness about our body, our breath, as we just notice and allow everything to be just as it is. We're not trying to change anything. And we're going to begin by doing some breath work. So this is a really simple breathing technique that you can use. And this helps to tone our vagus nerve. So our vagus nerve wanders through the body, called the wandering nerve. And it helps us when we have a high tone on our vagus nerve, it helps us to feel calm and safe. And when there's low tone, that's when we slip into nervous system dysregulation. So we tend to feel anxious, depression, sadness, anger, all of those things. So our breathing technique that we're going to do is a really simple one. And I'll demonstrate now. So you just inhale as normal. And on the exhale, we're going to make a sound like a bee, so a humming sound, and it is called bee breath. And I apologise in advance if you have pets at home, because apparently sometimes dogs and cats aren't a fan of a buzzing noise. So take a nice inhale, and then on the exhale, I'm going to make the bee noise. in now. So just take a moment to just again notice how your body feels. Take a breath, just a nice natural breath rhythm. So humming, singing, they're all really good ways to tone your vagus nerve. And they're all things that you can bring into your daily life. So that's one to take away with you. So let's bring the hands together. So I say prayer position, but prayer position can look very different for everyone. So you can bring the hands with the palms together, the fingers facing up, or you can clasp the hands in any way that feels comfortable for you and for your body. So clasping the hands, bringing the hands to prayer, we're actually going to rotate the wrists. So just rotating around, a nice gentle movement here. So remember to think of your breathing. And let's reverse the direction. So it might feel more comfortable to go one way than it does the other. Our body is one big habit that we've created, so sometimes it's more comfortable to move in one way. And release the hands down. Take a breath, ground through your feet. And then we're going to roll through the shoulders and we're going to alternate the shoulders. So rolling the right shoulder back and the left shoulder. And I'd like to invite you to carry on with this movement. So left and right, whatever feels comfortable for you with this movement. And I'd like to just take a moment here to say about movements within our body. So with all of these movements, and with us being stroke survivors, there can be limited mobility on one side. So do what feels right for your body and what feels good for you. And if there is limited movement or if there's no movement, visualize the movement happening, because this actually can build new pathways in the brain, even the visualization. And there's also the option to help the affected side. So you can use the other side to help. Just moving through your shoulders now, circling through the shoulders. And maybe it might feel nice to bring a little bit more movement, maybe exaggerate the movement, moving the arm a little bit. But again, just working with what feels right for your body. Think of grounding through your feet, feeling that stability from the ground, so the lower part of the body nice and stable. Moving through the upper body. And then we'll release this movement, coming back to center. Take a pause and a breath. Again, just notice how your shoulders are feeling. Gentle movements. Now, bring the hands down so that you're kind of bringing the hands down towards the back end of your chair. Lift through the chest, so lifting up, lifting through the crown of the head. And then draw your shoulder blades and your shoulders back and down. So your chest lifts a little bit more. And you could maybe even raise your gaze to just to where the wall and the ceiling meet, that little top bit where they meet. There's no need to fling the head back too far. We're just opening through the chest, grounding through the feet. So we feel ourselves grounded but lifted. And now dropping the chin, and the chin comes down towards the chest. You can bring the arms back so the hands come onto the thighs. Just take a pause here, take a breath. Now lifting the head back. Lifting the head back up. Now bring the hands to prayer. So hands to prayer at the chest. And again, clasp the hands, clasp that way, whichever way feels more comfortable for you. Take a breath. I'm going to do a little bit of movement here. So again, this is a really good option for if you need to help your affected side at all to move. So you can clasp the hands here. So we're going to take the arms out in front. So nice inhale to stretch out and bring them back towards the body. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time, out and back towards the body. Take a pause, take a breath. This time we're going to go up with the hands. So just a little raise, the forearms may come together a little bit and lower. Ground through the feet. Inhale to lift. And lower. Inhale to lift. And lower. We'll do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Take a pause, take a breath. So we're going to link the two movements together now. So we're going to go up on the inhale, forwards, and then back towards the chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bring the arms back. Inhale. Lowering back down. Do one more round. And back to center. Grounding through your feet. So another movement here with the hands in prayer. This time we're going to circle the hands round. So circle. Lifting. So however the movement feels to you, just maybe it's here, and it's small movements. Grounding through the feet. And now bring the hands towards the right side of your chest and twist to the right. So grounding through your feet, lifting through the crown of your head, and we're twisting from the torso here. And it's not a twist that's going to pull us all the way around, it's just a gentle open to the side. And back to centre. And we'll reverse the direction now, so the opposite way around. So notice how it feels to go the opposite way. Again, working with your range of movement. Grounding through your feet. And bring the hands now to the left side and turning in a twist to the left. So notice how it feels to twist in this direction. And releasing, twist. Bringing the hands down. Take a pause, maybe take a little roll through the wrists if that feels helpful for you. So this next little bit of movement is again for the arms to shoulders and the chest. So I'll just demonstrate what we're going to do. So on the inhale, the arms will open, and on the exhale, we'll close and drop the head and the chest. So with this movement, if you, again, I'll use my left side because that was the side that was affected on my stroke. So you could just use the one arm, if that feels more comfortable for you, and visualize that arm moving. So however it feels for you, we'll take an inhalation, we'll lift the chest, we'll round through the spine, drop the head, give ourselves a hug. So move at your own breath rhythm here. So an inhale to lift and open, and an exhale to round, giving yourself a little hug. Inhale to lift. Exhale, rounding through the spine, grounding through the feet, working with your breath rhythm, just noticing how it feels as your breath is moving through your body. Notice how it feels to move your body and your breath together. We'll do one more inhalation and one more exhalation. And on your exhalation, I'd like you to hold the hug. So with the one arm or the two. You know, stroke recovery is hard, so let's offer ourselves some compassion. And giving ourselves a hug. And maybe you can have even a rock from side to side. It's nice and soothing for our nervous system. And releasing the rocking and the hug. So grab hold of your pillow here, and I'm just going to fold it in half, pop it on my lap, bring the hands up onto the top of it, and you can use your hands or you can make fists, but just bring the forehead down towards the pillow for our child's pose. So take this moment to check in with yourself, grounding through your feet as you notice the feelings and the sensations within your body. Just focusing on your breath here, allowing everything to settle. And when you feel ready, you can lift yourself back up. You can pop your cushion back down, pillow down. Take a moment, take a breath. So bringing some work into the legs. I'm first going to start with a little self-massage. So this is really nice and soothing for your nervous system. It's that self-touch, that self-massage. So sweeping down the legs, sweeping down your thighs. So again, you can do this with one hand on each leg, or you can do both at the same time. You can sweep all the way down if that's accessible for you, or you can just sweep through the thighs. And maybe bring the hands underneath the thighs. If you wanted to, you could sit slightly further forward so that you can get underneath the thighs, just give them a rub. And again, you can do this on one leg and then on the other, depending on your movement in your affected side. So whatever works for you. Maybe down the back of the calves, if that feels nice for you. Just nice. And maybe you might want to try a pat. So you can pat down the outside and you can go all the way down and then pat up the inside. And then you can do again one leg and one leg. So just patting the legs. So just again, sweeping down. And then coming back to centre, bringing the hands back onto the thighs. So you can sit forward into your chair a little bit here. So scoot forward a little bit, keep the feet flat, and the knees are just going to drop to the side. So just to each side, you can maybe hold on to the chair. So there's not too much movement here, just gentle movement to the side. Just notice how that feels. We're lifting through the crown of the head still. And if it feels comfortable and if it's accessible, you could do the ball of the feet, still onto the toes, and go from side to side like that. Maybe if you're on the balls of the feet as well, you could go to one side, drop the feet down and up to the other side, so like a little circle. But by all means, you can just stay with the sway from side to side. If you are circling, we'll circle in the opposite direction. And then let's all just come back to a sway, feet flat. And release the sway. Now bring again, just a little bit further forward on your chair. So we're sitting up and we're not leaning back into the chair. So we're sitting up. Take the legs out straight or keep a little bend to the knees so they don't have to come like straight out in front. So they've just got a little bend and the feet are going to be flexed. So the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. So feet are flexed, toes pointing towards the ceiling. Legs are straight with a little bend in the knees. Lift through the chest, so lifting yourself up. Keeping the hands to the thighs. Take a little bend forwards. And so we're thinking about bringing our chest forwards here. So the back stays straight, holding the lower belly up and in, supporting ourselves with hands on the thighs. And we just lean forwards, just slightly. Don't need to fold forwards and too far. It's just a slight lean. Now come back to your breathing. Notice how your breathing feels. And if there's any difficulty with your legs, you can always place the foot flat again. And just know that there's always that option there for you. So there's the option here to stay here with the hands here, or you could bring the arms in front. So we're thinking of a little downward facing dog here, so a seated downward facing dog. So we've got our chest at an angle, the arms are forwards, we're pulling in from the lower belly. This is going to be really good for the core muscles, for the back muscles. If you feel that you can, your arms can raise slightly, or we can stay with the arms out here, or even a bit lower, whatever feels more comfortable, or we can keep the hands here. So there's lots of options for you here. And bringing the arms down if they're not already, lifting yourself back up and bringing the feet back in, the legs in, feet planted on the ground. You can shuffle back in your chair, take your pillow again. We're going to half it again, and exactly the same as last time, coming into our child's pose. Bringing the forehead down, taking a pause, taking a breath. notice again how your body feels. And lifting ourselves back up. Can again drop the pillow down. And we're going to do one final twist before we come into our relaxation at the end of our session. So lifting up through the crown of the head. Bring the left hand onto the right knee, the right thigh area. And again, if you need to help your hand over, then by all means. Bring the right hand onto your chair and a gentle twist. So again, twisting from the torso. Because we've got a little bit of leverage this time, there's a little bit more room there to twist rather than when we were just doing it with the torso. So you've got that little bit of leverage, but there's no need to force anything. So with our yoga practice, there's nothing that's ever forced. There's a concept in yoga, which is sthira and sukha, and it means stability and ease. So we have stability through the legs, through the ground, and we have ease through the top half of our body here. So release the twist, take a pause, take a breath. And we'll do the other side. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind, onto the chair. Twisting to the left. So think of that stability and ease, grounding through your feet. Nice and light, lifting through the crown of your head. And releasing the twist. Lean back into your chair. Take a pause here. And now we're going to come into our final relaxation. So find yourself a comfortable space. Either you can stay on your chair, or if you wanted to move to something a bit more comfortable. And again, like I said about blankets, you can use your blanket in case you get chilly. Because I'd like you to really make yourself comfortable. So make yourself comfortable. If you're seated, then feel the ground through your feet. And here, as before at the beginning, you can close your eyes or drop your gaze. Feel your body, feel your breath. And I'd like you to draw your awareness down to your feet. Feel the ground. Feel the sensations within your feet. And now move your awareness to your ankles and your lower legs. Bringing your awareness to your ankles and your lower legs. Noticing any sensations and feelings. Drawing your awareness to your knees, your thighs, really feeling within your knees and within your thighs. And what do you notice? What do you feel? We're not trying to change anything, just noticing and feeling. Moving your awareness to your pelvis and your hips. Feeling the whole of your pelvis and your hips. Noticing any sensations. And now move into your lower belly, your stomach area. And so we tend to hold on to emotions in this area. So I'd just like to invite you to notice what's here without judgment. Can you offer yourself compassion for whatever it is that comes up for you? And now bring your awareness to your chest. Feeling within your chest. Noticing the sensations there. Now move into your arms, your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands and your fingers, feeling through the whole of your arms and your hands, noticing the sensations there, offering yourself compassion for whatever it is that's there. Now moving round to your back, your lower back, the middle part of your back, and your upper back. Can you feel the support from your chair or wherever it is you're sitting or lying down? Allow yourself this time and this space to lean in to that support. Take on the support and accept the support that's there. Move into your shoulders and your neck. Drawing your awareness to your shoulders and your neck. And this can be where we hold on to tension. So what comes up for you here? What do you notice? Can you allow anything to soften? Just allow yourself to soften. And as we move up to the head, noticing any feelings and sensations within your head, know that this is a safe space for you to explore. It's a safe space for you to explore the feelings and the sensations within. just know if at any point that there is any panic rising or anything that happens, you can always open your eyes and orientate yourself throughout your room by looking around. So just know that that's okay. Now move into your face, your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyebrow center, your eyes, your cheeks, and your jaw. Noticing the whole of your face. Can you allow softness? And now drawing your awareness to the whole of your body, the whole of your body, the whole of your body. So drop in within the whole of your body. Drop in and notice the feelings and sensations throughout the whole of your body. Knowing that you're held in this safe space where you can allow your body to soften and fully rest. Notice your breathing as it moves through your body. So as we begin to draw this Shavasana, this relaxation to a close, begin to notice where your body is on your chair, whatever it is you're sitting on or lying on. Begin to notice where your body is within your room. And just take in a little stretch in any way that you need to, bring in some movements, maybe within the fingers, toes, rotating through the wrists. And if you need to stretch at all, stretching your body out and waking your body. So stretching and waking your body now. Stretching and waking. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the hands to prayer, and whatever that looks like for you. Take a breath. Take a bow. So to thank yourself for taking this time to practice. And thank you for coming along to this session to practice with me. It's been a pleasure to teach. Thank you.
Anna, that was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for that session. We do just have 5 minutes or so for any questions, if anyone would like to pop a question in the Q&A now. I'll be honest with you, you've had very, very little come through, and without a shadow of a doubt, that's clearly because everyone's been so engaged in the session.
That's really nice.
that you were doing. I think that's a testament to how fantastic it was and how engaged and everyone and participating, that we've had no comments or questions at all come through. But I wonder if I could ask you on a kind of general note, how is yoga good for stroke recovery?
So there's so many different aspects to yoga that make it really good for stroke recovery. So obviously we've gone through some postures today, some physical movements, which is obviously great for stroke recovery, because as we all know, we need movement, we need to build those new pathways, and so it's great for that. It's also great for, with movement, again, working on balance after stroke, which is something that can be very difficult. So it works really well for balance as well. We didn't do any balancing postures today, but there is lots of different things that you can do, and there is even, you know, balancing postures that you can do sitting down, just to get yourself in that right positioning to work through your core muscles, to work through the feet and the ankles. So that's really good. So there's obviously the physical side of it that's amazing, and is totally accessible, because I mean, I've not got anyone standing on their head today, so that's always a positive, because you see all these things on Instagram where people have got their foot on their head, and it makes yoga look really not accessible for people. And that's one of my missions in life, is to make sure everyone knows that it is accessible. See, we've done it all on a chair today, and you can do standing things with the chair or with your kitchen countertop, so you can take it anywhere, which is great. The other side of it is psychological side of having a stroke is hard. Like, I'm sure we all know, it's very, very difficult. I've been really lucky with my recovery physically, and to look at me, no one would really think that I've had a stroke, but there's a lot going on inside my head, and that's been the case since day one. You know, when I was in hospital, that they did say told me, the doctors, because they knew I was a yoga teacher, they told me to meditate, which probably wasn't the best thing for me to be doing at that time, because going through that trauma wasn't great to just be sitting with my thoughts. So I used movement more than as like a moving meditation. But the psychological side is really, really difficult, and there's so many practices in yoga that can really help with that. And basically what happens is, when we go through trauma, our nervous system goes into that fight or flight mode, or that freeze or shut down mode. And what we need to do is to learn how to regulate our nervous system. So yoga practices can help us to regulate our nervous system. And I'll give you an example of real time. This happened when I was having my stroke. I was in an absolute panic, and I knew everything that was happening. And so I knew I was having a stroke, but I was thinking, I'm 35. These don't happen to 35-year-olds, because I had no idea about strokes. And I was in a panic, and my husband was lucky with me, and he said to me, use your yoga breathing. And in that moment, that gave me everything I needed to be able to handle the situation better. So I deepened my inhalation, lengthened my exhalation, and that calmed my nervous system down in that moment. So it allowed me to handle the situation better. It didn't take away the fact that I was having a stroke. And, you know, our yoga practice isn't going to take away any stressors. It just helps us to manage them in a better way. And that's what we do with our yoga practice. And with the psychological side of it, there's so many different practices, like breathing techniques, there's mantra that you can use. And there is also the philosophy side of yoga as well that's really helpful. So there's so many different aspects of it that's really, really good for stroke recovery. So that's why I think it's great, and I'm here banging the drum for it.
Thank you. One we've just had come through. I briefly fell asleep several times. I think because I'm not generally very relaxed. Is this normal? Is there anything I should do about it?
Not at all. If you need to sleep, sleep. This is, I think that even people that haven't had a stroke, I've had people fall asleep during the end relaxation stuff. I've had people fall asleep all the time. So it's really, what it means is that your body is relaxing, and our body can feel really tense after having a stroke, because we're always in that. We tend to be living in either that fight or flight mode, or freeze or shut down mode. So we're constantly living in that. And actually that's really exhausting for our body to be constantly in that state. So actually when you do some practices like this, it allows your body to release that tension and that then can make you feel really sleepy. And it, if you've fallen asleep, then that's absolutely fine. There is no issue with that, so I wouldn't worry. It's your body telling you that you need to rest. So listen to your body because it's wise.
Lovely. Thank you. Well, once again, thank you so much. That's been, absolutely fantastic. If anyone's got any questions post-session, would you be very happy for us to take those questions and pass them on?
Yes, definitely.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll pop our email in the chat box now. So if anyone, after the session thinks of any questions or queries that I have for Anna, please do email us, and we'll very happily pass them on. Thank you to Anna. Thank you to everyone who's attended this afternoon. Really glad that you found the session to be so good and that you've all been so engaged with it. Coming up a week on Friday, that's the 3rd of March, we have a fantastic talk with the inspirational stroke survivor Carol Pike. So please do join us for that session, because we know that, like today, that will be another great session. And we'd love to get feedback as well. We'd love to get further feedback on the session today, and we'd love to hear from you about any areas or subjects that you'd like us to put these webinars on in the future, as we are looking to do a number of them all year. But once again, thank you to all of you. Thank you to Anna, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.